Aries, we're feeling very
Aries.
fiery today.
Woo! Rawr.
I just went in. Dale, will you do me something? Will you do something for me really quick?
What's that?
Will you get some fire? It's in that bin on the right, on the top, underneath that fabulous dance picture of me and Delphina Parenti and Annika Sheaf while we were dancing in a piece at Juilliard called
He's talking about himself.
Tabula Rasa.
Okay.
By Ohad Naharin, an Israeli
Let's
choreographer.
ignite.
We're going to ignite it. The lighter is right over there. Next to the gang. Thank you for watching. I'm Kendrick. This is Dale.
Hi, I'm Dale.
We're going to give you guys the Morgan Greer deck today because we love how bold it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll show you the cards and you'll see.
We just came out of your season. We're in Taurus now. We were in Aries, the first.
Second house of communication, so communication might be something that's very important in this reading.
There were some new initiations that happened maybe just recently in love or in work and in your spirit. You're moving forward with. You're running the race. You're always good at bringing things in. You're a cardinal energy.
Let me tell you something. I love me some Aries.
He's
men.
a Libra.
I love some Aries men.
So
I
there's
like
a lot
Aries
of
women too.
attraction there.
For different reasons.
Well, Mars rules Aries, right? So it's naturally the most masculine of all the zodiac in a sense. I mean, it's not the father sign, but Mars is the sign, is the guy that's best for the job, right? In a sense. What we call in our Mars and our zodiac to get things done, right?
I'm
to
living
drive
for it.
us to do these things. And
I'm here for you, Aries.
Aries, he's giving you a lot of,
I'm
trying to seduce you,
I'm
Aries.
just in it.
I'm
not-
flipping my hair for Okay, Aries, we're gassing you up. Okay, you got a Libra here and you got a Leo. These are two people you're actually very compatible with. What you naturally like to do is focus on the self, and what you're good at is your self-will, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's great.
That's one thing.
But what you're not good at is leaving room for other people's desires as well. Leaving room in general is not really your strong suit, with one being the most significant of you. That is your opposite Libra, which naturally thinks about another person and weighing things out. Aries is more thinking about what services them and impulses. They love the chase of things, especially when it comes to sexual chases and the discovering of why people do things and all this type of stuff. But they're not necessarily good at balancing out things, even though the deepest desire of an Aries is to be recognized by their loved ones, friends and family,
right,
for their accomplishments and for themselves, what they do. It's like the child.
And
you
who
rule
they
the child,
are.
which is 0 to 7, right? So you rule the period of time when you discover something about yourself and you run home to get the praise for it. Look what I did in school.
It's who I
Look,
am.
I got
and
an
what do I
A.
do? Right.
Look, mommy. Right? So it's kind of like, that matters because fire is always a little bit partial in that way. You're subjective in that way, but it matters to you with the people that you feel spirited with.
What are we working with here at the bottom of the deck? Water. Emotions.
The moon.
Comfort.
This is
maternal.
Ruled by Pisces, but it always makes me think Cancer as well because astrologically it's ruled by Cancer. So it's still kind of giving you cardinal and mutable mix here.
Right. Mm-hmm, yeah.
What are you going through quietly that everybody doesn't know about, right? Maybe it's something to do with your plans, something that you're planning, or it's just the way that certain things affect you. You might be dealing with a hidden struggle or stresses that people just don't really know what drives you in that way.
It's inside, and the only people that are going to get there are the people who feel closely connected to you, like the moon is closely connected to the earth and to the oceans.
This is about an evolution too. So some of you are definitely going through a change. You could be changing status. You could be changing jobs. Or you could be just changing in your mind, which is not always the easiest thing for Aries, as you rule the forehead and you rule the consciousness. So changing your desires for another's desires is not really that's not part of the plan, right? The Emperor is all about construction and planning. Well, I built this, well, I'm doing this, and it's not as flexible, right?
Maybe you're realizing something that was sort of like hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With
Could definitely deal with family.
Let's see what's in your ascendant.
Okay,
Wow, this just came up for
Sagittarius and their emotions. Some of you could be some of you could be connected to a Sagittarius and making them feel a lot of things right now.
We literally just talked about that.
That's possible. But this is saying that you're rising to a manifestation. 10 of Cups is literally like a manifestation of something. Happy life, happy wife kind of thing. You're definitely moving towards this kind of full-out emotional manifestation of some feelings, very mature. This is Sun in Pisces, so it's like if you're thinking about pairing with someone, this person is going to be sharing these emotions with you for a long time, you know? Or this is the establishment, this is what you want, you know?
This is the appreciation of the process of getting to this place of something feeling emotionally established. Right? It's like the value of the emotions or the emotional process, right? How you're taking through the roller coaster of the emotions and how you begin to appreciate those things.
It's also the subconscious, so maybe some things weren't as clear and they're going to be more clear to you in this next coming month. As far as like what it is that you truly want in this process that you're on, because you're manifesting something, right? Okay. So the sun is in the moon in Aquarius right now. This is the Seven of Swords. I'll show you the Seven of Swords, which some of you might be dealing with some mental conflict.
Right. You've learned some things maybe about something, right? It could be about the relationship that you're in. It could be about past relationships that you've had, and you're bringing in your new perceptions of what it means to be in a relationship. And that's what you're presenting right now actively as you are in a relationship or learning about other people, you know, introducing yourself to other people. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a relationship, but it's definitely, you know, relating to something and how your perceptions relate to that situation.
It could be the deconstruction of something as well. Like maybe you always thought of it this way and you need to stop doing that.
Right.
You know, it is the mind fixed on something and it affecting the emotions and it causing this conflict. Maybe you're having a disagreement with some people in your environment and you're just going to have to really deconstruct your way of thinking or just take your swords and go. There's, you know what I mean? Like there might not be a resolution with this person, you know? And so in that aspect, you have to just ask yourself, am I on my right path? Which sevens are usually saying yes.
Right.
You know, you're on your way to that 8, which is the new beginning. And sevens are also talking about ringing things in. It's still related to water, a little bit into Cancer and how you feel on the inside about what it is that you're building. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is how you're getting there, right? How are things being planned and done?
There's a progression that happens there because now you've got the 8 of Swords in your moon, right? So there you go. A lot of you guys are really analyzing a lot. This is Jupiter and Gemini. Right. So there might be an expansion of why you feel the way you feel, or the conflict is expanding in some way. It could definitely be saying that some of you are making this out to be bigger than it really is.
Right.
Like you want to stay there for some reason. Right. Like you want to keep feeling this. Maybe you feel justified for feeling it for whatever reason.
You might have even been like in denial or like deceiving yourself. You kind of are deceiving yourself because you've got the 8 of Swords here in the emotion. So it's like you're forcing your emotions to go to this heightened place based on the fact that you don't know the whole truth about what it is that you're making such
this could deal with your mother
deal about.
I feel like because you are Aries and the mother is so important to the Aries in that sense too. Mother and father, but the parent roles.
The mother.
Like you could be getting affected by your family somehow or influenced by your family in your mind and in your emotions. And some of it is like you really just
This is
are
Jupiter.
quietly suffering, and you need to stand up for yourself. Maybe some of you are not really expressing what it is that you want in the situation, so you need to try to do that more so you can be happier. Or it's like, it's not as bad as you're making it out to be for whatever reason.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like something that's plagued you, you're being a little bit fickle about it. And you need to stop like staying there and rise to these more mature Ten of Cups emotions, right? To manifest what it is that you really want, you know?
In your recent past, you have the Six of Swords, which is just
Lots
speaking
of
to that.
swords.
And didn't I say
Jeez,
that?
and that was in your past.
Didn't I say
the
that?
past is the 6. Right now you're in the 7. And you're feeling like an 8 on the inside. All of Swords. Okay?
Right.
That's
so
Aquarius
that
and Gemini energy.
That progression is very real.
Yeah. So, some of you, something happened. You started to set on a goal somehow. You got a new job, a new platform, you got engaged, something happened, now you're planning something together. There is somebody in the boat with you. It could be team related.
Right.
It could even be something that drives you from like your family or from your past somehow. There's a lot of water there. And there's a lot of anticipation for, this is a very hopeful card. A lot of anticipation for new things and new possibilities. Maybe some of you like are reinventing yourselves in a new way, right? And not everybody's in agreement with that. And you're going to have to weigh out how important that is for you to have that in agreement. Because I said at the beginning, you know, one of the deepest desires of Aries is to have that love and recognition from its family and the people it cares about. So you got to weigh out how much that is important to you versus your importance with you and what apparently might be someone very special to you.
This is you. This is your card, Aries. And it's in your present position. Right? Where are we? Sun in Aries?
2 of Wands?
It's actually 3.
3 of Wands, yes. That is Sun of Aries. Sun in Aries, yeah.
Sun in Aries, right? So things are beginning to take shape for you. Yeah? After this, things definitely were taking shape. How did they take shape? With the 7 and then the 8? Yeah? Blown out of proportion a little bit?
This is interesting. You got your present, so it's saying, I mean, the sun is exalted in you.
Right. You do blow things out of proportion, too, sometimes.
And you're kind of justifying everything with, like, I'm just being
this
mean.
This is who I am, right.
And maybe that's not enough, right, Aries, to actually have a resolution.
You've got to be more considerate.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the situation might be about you somehow, which you love in this case.
Yeah.
Because it's saying it is about you, whatever the situation is. But in that, how do you get people working for you? It's like you need to think the opposite in that Libra concept of like, what's the point of having a store if nobody's buying anything?
Yeah.
You got to find the balance with why in the self of it. Yes, you do need those initiations. We do need that person who does have that drive to just make things happen. But at the same time, there's got to be some type of balance with fairness. It's saying right now that you guys are at a platform where you're really about to take off with newer possibilities. I'm seeing like a brighter future ahead for you.
Right. You've got some plans and you've got some things, you know, like under the radar right now that are actually going to come out and people are going to feel the energy from it. They're going to notice it. When it does come out, let's see where you're going.
Okay. All right. So, Libra is there.
Right.
Saturn is there as well. Libra, I was just talking about opposing you.
That's in your house of relationships, too.
Some of you,
Saturn
this transformation of being yourself, you're feeling like a hard loss or something might happen once you transform into this. Like, things aren't going to be the same with certain relationships. And it's saying you're right.
You're right.
You're right. You know, for some of you, when you get that new job or you get that new relationship or you get that new status or you get married or whatever, certain people are going to go, you're not going to have as much room for certain things in your life. You're absolutely right. You're not going to be the same person to people. You're absolutely right. And it's karmically meant to be this way. Yeah, because there is supposed to be, there's a waiting period and then you're going to feel different once you go through this transformation and you know it.
Right.
And it's supposed to be that way. showing you the card. We didn't reveal it because it's kind of like a lot of people who see it, they get a little scared. But
that's why you got all those swords already.
It's not scary. It's really just saying like whatever pains that come in from this new transformation are actually supposed to be there. There are lessons to be learned in the heart. Sacrifices are to be made, and restrictions too. So restrictions, what does it mean?
Right.
You might not be able to do certain things when it comes to love or when it comes to relationships that you used to do before because you're going to be transformed.
Saturn is resistant. It keeps you in a place until you have basically exalted yourself, with its energy, because it's saying that you would never be the person that you are today if you didn't have the experiences that you have had. So it's something that you have to.
This is about time, karma. This is about restrictions. It's not something that you want to do necessarily. It's not something that you like. Saturn doesn't really have a lot of friends, although it is friends with Venus and with Mercury. So, if you have like Saturn in Libra, which this is actually Saturn in Libra, this is someplace that he wants to be. Right? When it comes to like relationships, things happen in our relationships for a reason. There are all kinds of relationships. It doesn't necessarily mean just lovers. It can mean a relationship that you've had at work, a relationship that you've had with a family member. You do have the moon at the bottom. So it's like something that you deal with on your own somehow that might be transformed. It could be your lover, your soulmate, or something like that. Or something cosmic in that way where you're like, I am karmically in this type of relationship.
Right. You have double threes too. You got the 3 of Wands followed by the 3 of Swords, which is just generating
expression.
More energy that 3.
And wanting to express yourself. Yeah. Right?
So here's your immediate influence. It is the devil.
Okay. So that is the challenge. Once I make these decisions, I'm going to be bound emotionally. This is what is the challenge, like, or feeling bound emotionally and weighing out what it is. Like some of you are really going into a heavy commitment, and this will come up for something like that. Also,
this is like the acknowledgement of difficulty. You can see it.
We all have to work. We all have to put this work in. And also it has to do a lot. It's almost like the Lovers in reverse to a certain degree too. Right? So it's like doing things not just because it's coming from an emotional place, but doing things because you feel obligated to do them. Right? You're
held. You're being held by something. And when you're being held by something, it's yielding. So it's slowing you down. And Aries does not like to be slowed down, right? None of the fire signs like to be slowed down. Leo doesn't like to be slowed down because it's like when you block the rays of the sun, it's not getting through, right? There's nothing to be absorbed. There's no nutrients. But once you take that blinder away, it's still moving at the speed of light, right? Doesn't want to be slowed down. Sagittarius does not want to be slowed down or stopped. Aries does not want to be slowed down.
It's like some of you, this is definitely work related too. You're like feeling like work is really keeping you from your goals or keeping you from being this exalted version of yourself. And like you might feel like you need to really work on yourself more right now than whatever the demands are that your job or your friends and family are trying to put on you. It could be friends and family related too. Like you're planning an event or you're going on a trip. And
there's some planning going on because you have a lot of swords here. So it's a process. Yeah, process. That's what you're worried about.
Some of you are feeling restricted. Some of you that are single are really wanting somebody to come back in right now and wondering if that person's going to come back in. And like maybe a lover or something, and it could be very physical, but they're affecting you emotionally. And so you feel kind of bound. It's almost a lustful thing. Like you're feeling like, oh, I'm not going to find anybody else because this person is the person for me. And it's saying like you need to look beyond that.
Right. It's saying, learn from this situation.
Learn.
Like, the bonds that you feel tied to, or the restriction that you feel in regards to what you feel like you want to do or what you think you should be doing.
You're being stubborn.
It's like you need to just do what you're doing, and everything that you're doing is leading you to the next stage, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't be so worried or bogged down by the fact that things feel like heavy at times. They're going to.
Right. They're kind of like grown-up issues. You are Aries. You don't want to feel like you have to certain things. You know, fire always wants to have that freedom to expand naturally and feel spirited.
Right.
And sometimes the duties of everyday life can make you feel really weighted, and you know, and it's kind of like getting to that place where you're making sure you're still able to keep this kind of like childlike, fiery passion about your mundane tasks.
Right. Let's look at your anxieties. Okay, King of Pentacles. You're worried about providing, making money, feeling like you have actually reached this pinnacle of success, and that's what's challenging you. It's like the processes of what it takes to get there. It's like, should I hire that assistant? Who should that assistant be? Should I go and use one of those offices that you rent on a daily basis? It's like you're worrying yourself about things that will be taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Or you're thinking about a man.
Right.
Your man. Mm-hmm. If you're coupled especially.
Right.
Right. Because this is a manifestation. The king is real. It's the proof he's there.
Right. You value him.
You know, and so you're thinking about, there could just be anxieties for whatever reason.
Right.
What's fair? What isn't fair? What am I learning from this situation? As far as like the commitments are, it's definitely a lot of just whatever it is that you are working towards to manifest. You are definitely thinking about this man.
Right.
And it's karmic and cosmic, and you're thinking about how cosmic it is because the future is Saturn and Libra, which is like how I would feel without this man.
Right.
Right?
And how I feel with him sometimes.
And sometimes how I feel with him because he affects me so much.
Right.
Right? Everything is intertwined with this man.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Look.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see what your Mars is giving. What's your will?
That man could be a Taurus,
Who are you and what do you do? Right.
Definitely possible.
Taurus.
Okay. Taurus here. Right? Mercury and Taurus here. This is what you want to put more communication into. So you want to put more energy. Mars.
Right.
You want to put more energy into. So this is like you kind of you might want to have conflict. You might, some of you want to put more work into certain things. Mm-hmm. Some of you are definitely wanting to be more physically satisfied. Maybe you're not as much physically satisfied right now. Some areas out there, and you just want to really establish, maybe especially if you're working towards a goal, you want to knock things off or check things off of your list. I
feel like some of you might be in a physically abusive relationship. Mm. And, I've never been in a physically abusive relationship, but I have felt emotionally and mentally and psychologically abused in some relationships. We all do. That's
conflict.
Why you've got this, right?
You fear the change, but you want it.
You fear the change, and that's like what do they call it? I forget, but some sort of syndrome. I forget what it's called, but it's the name of a city in Sweden or somewhere. I forget. Stockholm syndrome. Right. You don't want to get
Stockholm syndrome. What is that?
You won't get out of it because it's you feel like this person is providing something for you. Right?
They have things, yes, they have establishments, they have things, and as being the child, it's you don't have to necessarily think about certain things. They relieve certain monetary things, or maybe their family does, or whatever they have that they can provide for you kind of helps you in that way.
But this is who you are, and this is what you do based on that person.
It's almost a certain relationship that's just not really serving you. Maybe it's a physical thing. Maybe it could be even a family member or something, mm-hmm. where you just have this. You have this person in your life, but for some reason there's a feeling of conflict there, or just not really getting that satisfaction that you need, or something better is on the other end of this relationship.
Maybe an argument turned into an actual physical fight, right? Because this is Taurus and this is Mercury and Taurus, which might, that's communication. with a sign
physical
that
aggression.
likes to fight. Yeah, physical aggression. And you got the King of Pentacles here. That's, Pentacles represent the physical body. This could be a person. All kings are air. So, this could be someone getting into your mind and physically abusing you too as a result of that, just because. And then you've got the three. This is the Empress right here. You got the Three of Wands, and then you've got the Devil covering that, and right after it, you have the Three of Swords in your future. It's saying that it's going to continue unless you get out. And if you get out, then there's so much growth and freedom that comes from that. You will feel change.
There's a fear of change. You want to put aggression into changing something,
right?
But you fear it. It's not something that is, there's something that's got you feeling like there's afraid. Compassion. Maybe you're in a relationship because you feel bad for this person, or, you know what I mean? Because the sun is exalted there, so they need you, sun in Aries, right? But your future is so much brighter for some reason.
But it's like, what are you feeling?
Or you just want to put more aggression into change, and Taurus fears change. So there's certain ritualisms that you've been doing that have to change. They have to change.
Or you're going to stay here.
Jupiter expanding, and it's making it seem like your life is so much worse than it actually is, and you don't want that.
Right. It's saying that it's going to be that if you believe that it is that. And if you stay in something that isn't serving you, you're going to feel like this.
There's a lot of conflict there, Aries. But some of you are really close to manifesting something, and that thing, maybe it has to do with this man that you're dating or seeing, is
the man.
Right. Is actually, for some of you, it's an escape. This man is the escape from a situation, and for some of you, the man is the cause of this kind of angst. Right. So it could go either way with that, because there is a man that's causing anxiety for you. Right? So it could be because your love for this person is just causing all of these things to happen, and all of these changes, and you're fearing the changes, but they're cosmic changes and it's happening. Or it could be like this person is really the cause of all of this stuff, and you're really just trying to be yourself, and you haven't felt free in quite some time, and you've been mentally battling that, and you're wondering when and how I can get out of it, and you have to realize you got to get that blindfold off, remove the blindfold, and realize those swords aren't really touching you. None of them are touching you.
Right.
So you can really wiggle out of that and get out of that.
Stop lying to people about the fact that this is probably, you're pretending that it's good. This is how people are saying, oh, everything's fine. Right, look, I didn't even try to do this, but another card has revealed itself, and it's the Sun in Scorpio. Nostalgic. It's like, just because you have history with someone and you're still with them doesn't mean you should stay with them.
Right. That's very true. I mean, there's definitely some type of you are even wondering, what are you doing this for?
Right.
You're in kind of like a physical routine. It could be work, and maybe you just come to a place with that. Because Taurus is about ritualism and establishments. It's like I always come and I always do this thing.
If it is work,
and I'm losing sight of why I do this thing.
Then this is a boss instead of a lover, right?
Could be a boss situation. Could be anxieties over your boss. Maybe they're causing a lot of pressure for you right now, and you want to focus on the love in your life. You want to focus on, these new manifestations, and that's, like I said, a relationship. I was just about to pick
that card up, right?
So there could be the loss of that relationship in order to make room for other things, because the devil is also associated with work, because it's Capricorn.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to work. Everybody's got these restrictions and these enforcements of money and work and currency to produce earthly pleasures, right? So this is what that's saying. Let's see what the advice is. Okay. The advice is Two of Pentacles, which is Jupiter and Capricorn. Work,
more
again.
Jupiter, more Capricorn.
Also, this is a full out. Now you're starting to get into the manifestation. The pentacle in itself is the new thing, right? The proof of the new situation. Right. Now you get into the two, and now we're getting into this duplicity.
What does it mean? How are you understanding it? How are you balancing?
If you're coupled, then keep going towards this actual proof, of this manifestation that you're trying to wield. Right. Some of you are weighing things out, though. This is in correlation with temperance. And you're like, I've been doing this for a long time. I just can't abandon this because I've been doing it. And some of it is like, no, you need to sever this.
This is saying that when you make the assessment of your intuition and what it's telling you that you know to be true and that has been confirmed for you realistically, you will realize what it means to get out of something or a situation, a relationship, whatever it is, in order to grow. And it's Jupiter in Capricorn, so we are talking about expansion, right?
And it's the work that you put in. Capricorn wants to work. And it's also about the self, you know, so this is really work. Also, Jupiter rules the husband a lot of the time, especially when it comes to a female. And Jupiter for a male is like what kind of husband he's going to be. Jupiter is in his detriment a lot of the times in Capricorn. So this could very well be talking about a bad husband or a bad relationship of some sort. Mm-hmm. And that is a message for an Aries out there. If you've been going through something and thinking about leaving a situation, it's saying you do need to do that.
Right. And this is connected to High Priestess energy as well, being that they are that Roman numeral 2. So you see that ocean behind him, much like the King of Cups, which was in the Sagittarius reading. This water is getting to a heightened level as well. Yeah. But it's like, how are you going to manage it?
Some of you in the long term know you're going to be leaving a certain job that you're at. That could be another thing, because Capricorn is talking about work, with the devil talking about work. Sagittarius talking about long-term goals, a waiting period. Things to be waiting. Also, the 2 is about High Priestess. So you know. Right? It's a supreme knowing. You know, and it's about whether you're sharing that or not with your boss or with other people. But you're like, when the time comes, I'm going to have to do this probably.
Right. And you know that. Mm-hmm. And this is the solution to it right here. That bow. Mm-hmm.
You got to cross the emotions. You have to deal with the emotions and the air there, right, behind it.
Mm-hmm. And once you get to this place and you understand this energy, you're going to feel like $1,000,000, just like this person looks in this depiction.
And the 3 of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn, which is exalted. Mars being your ruler. This is something you're really trying to get to. An exalted planet, meaning it is at its strongest potential. So, if you got that extra pentacle going, you being an Aries, that means it's about recognition of the proof of something. Everybody is going to be able to stand there and be like, this is what it is. So for some of you who are moving forward in a certain relationship, this is a very good sign saying, yes, this is the proof is in the pudding. Everybody is going to be there. Hopefully that 3 of Pentacles, you know, you'll be working towards it. This is a waiting period now, and go into that. And for other people, it's like, you know if you're being abused or not.
Right. You know that.
You know if you're being able to be yourself.
Right.
Or if that devil is crossing you.
Mm-hmm. It's preventing you from doing things.
And it's preventing you from doing things. This could be a job preventing you from doing things.
Right.
A situation. Or this could be an actual person, a Capricorn person definitely could be doing this to you.
Yeah.
Right? Or it could be just your husband in general. It could be like a Taurus or Earth sign. I'm definitely seeing like an Earth sign person. Or just these obligations to certain ritualisms from work that are now just causing a lot of anxieties over you. You used to have this childish gander and you're just not feeling like you're able to be yourself. You're losing sight of the possibilities. You need to heal.
Right.
Okay.
Let's look at your outcome. Wonderful. There is the Page of Rods, which is communication.
Saturn related as well.
Saturn related, honey. We keep talking about Saturn.
I'm seeing that. Or lessons. Karmic, cosmic lessons.
You said that at 33.
Okay. So this could definitely be also like a spirited type of thing. You know, just make sure that you're being mature about the conflicts that you're having in relationship to your lover. The wand, spirited, right? Your passion sexually. And also the restrictions that you create around sex and around your passions, right? It doesn't have to be a certain type of way. You define it. You know what I mean? So if you're being stubborn about the way things have to be, remember, it's 2 people in a relationship. 2 people, Aries. You can get really stuck on what it is that you want and lose the factors of sharing.
Right. So you want to be a little bit more mature in your own energy, right? It's like, what are the lessons that you have learned from this reading that we have just given you and the experiences that you now correlate with this reading? Okay? And how are you going to be able to move forward, right? Because after this comes the night.
Yeah. And some of you, yes, if you're wondering if you're going to meet someone soon, yes, there's a large possibility. If you're single, that, in this spirited time with the sun being going in, right now in Taurus, right, and then soon going into Gemini, definitely a good time to connect with people, to feel spirited. But make sure that you're learning your lessons cosmically. Some of you, it's just about letting go. You're transforming and you're moving on to a new plateau in your life. And, you're going to take your thoughts and your mate and all of the anxieties that were in the past and hopefully come to this place of Ten of Cups, which is Sun in Pisces, where you subconsciously just know why you made those decisions.
Right.
And you feel like you have found your soulmate. Because the deepest desire of a Pisces is to find their soulmate. So some of you are rising to that realization. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're going through a lot of anxieties with your man. But you're going to realize that it was all worth it.
This is a great change card. So if you're looking for the change to occur and you feel like all this energy that you've gone through,
some of you need to get away from things.
You need to get away from it. And you're going to initiate something with someone who's going to communicate with you and talk to you about what it is that you possibly can do and what your options are, right? This is Saturn, so this could be someone mentoring you. You seeking out that mentorship, or you asking someone's advice, I think that this is a very informative reading.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said before, there's a lot of hidden stuff going on with Aries. It's almost like a child who goes to school and shows up every day and has either good or bad grades or has all his certain friends and all this stuff and has a whole nother hidden life at home that the teacher doesn't know about.
Oh my God. I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday about this.
Now, you guys got a whole nother thing that people are not woke to.
Right. It's like you said, that child, the school might call home and be like, well, no. The parent gets the information somehow. The school's like, this is what's going on. The parent's like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't been telling me about this. Well, I think that usually when a child is going through something and the parent doesn't know, the child feels some kind of way about letting that parent know. And how open they can be with the parent about communicating how something is making them feel. Because a lot of times children are told that they are wrong. Their feelings aren't mature enough to be valued or considered or acknowledged. And that is BS. So if you have kids and you aren't listening to them, listen to them.
Right.
And the school, basically, I'm going to wrap this story up. The school is like, well, why are we supposed to raise your child for you? Like, the parents should know more than the school knows, right? The child may not even be bringing home their progress report.
There is a new beginning that's going to happen for you, and a lot of it is going to start with you being honest with yourself about what you feel obligated to, and what you might no longer need to feel obligated to. Certain restrictions that come to work and with friends and family even. Like some of you are changing your status or your title, or you're moving and locating in different ways, and this is going to determine, the future for you. There are lessons to be learned in how you deal with your relationships.
Right. Well, Aries, we started by saying that we love you.
Get to work.
And we do.
Yeah. We do love you, Aries. Yeah. Just focus on, it's not hard for you to focus on yourself. But what I will say is,
you need to be honest with yourself.
You need to be honest with yourself and with the conflicts and why you're having the conflicts. And those feelings of like, you can't just run away from this. You know what I mean? If you're having issues with your family or whatever, just because you got married doesn't mean everything's going to change and heal on those issues. You're still going to have some issues.
You're just going to be married with
You're just going to be married with the issues. Right. So it's like, this is the type of thing where it's like, you really have to look at things for what they are. And with the anxieties with this male, make sure that it really isn't you. right? Because maybe some things you just need to be grateful for, certain establishments, even with your family, with certain things that you have, even if they're driving you crazy in some type of process. Maybe it's about being grateful with what you have and being able to just be you.
Right. If you live near your family and you feel like you need some time away from your significant other or your spouse, you may not even really need to tell him why you're staying at your family's house, because it is your family, and that's what people do who live close to their family. They might stay at the family member's house one night or two or three. You know what I mean? But, there's something that needs to be done in order to get a handle on this current situation.
Yeah, there's some work, actual physical work that needs to be put into this, okay? And it's about the changes and the wanting to expand in your will, okay? Communicate.
Right. All right.
All right. Bye, Aries. I'll see you next month.